Hey everybody, this is the Super Sentai Fan Page podcast, and we are going to be talking about the NX for a little mini podcast. I'm Anui-chan.
Isamu.
This is Andy.
This is Nosan.
And Shigeru Joe.
Now, we've been hearing rumors about this, and a lot of them have been confirmed true, thanks to the reveal. What are your guys' initial initial thoughts on the NX / Switch?
Well, I think it's pretty nice. Finally, we get a system that is focusing on local multiplayer, which we haven't seen seen in full motion since, I don't know, before the 7th gen, GameCube, sometimes the Wii, or we don't talk about the Wii.
I think it looks really, really fragile. I don't know. It's just me. I would be afraid of taking it out of my house for just the fact that it looks really breakable. Along the lines of, I'm just thinking in my head, like, wow, I spent like $400 on my PS4. If I'm spending like $400 on this thing and it just breaks, and I don't know. Maybe I have a lack of trust in Nintendo, but there just looks like so many like things that will break and never work again.
Nintendo is usually very good about making their consoles strong. For all their portables, they make sure it's a standard that if a person were to try and put it in their breast pocket, it can take a fall from that height and still work. I don't know if that's what the standard for the NX, but like the 3DS, the DS, and the Game Boy all are surprisingly durable.
A little bit of a safety fact from Nintendo. What they do to test their handhelds is that they go up 10 feet up of Mount Fuji and just drop it from there and let it go downhill.
That doesn't surprise me.
And how many of those? I don't know. It just also wonder, like, because this was like because I have the Wii U, and like I know it has its own problems, but like my charger cord broke like pretty quickly after I bought it. Now it was my cat's fault, but I just look at it, and that kind of has soured me on their kind of hardware right now.
I don't know. My son is all over my Wii U, and he hasn't broken it yet. And he both broke my fucking Gabutiera.
Oh no!
Not Rexy.
Oh, I wasn't happy with him.
I love Nintendo too. I mean, I literally went out and bought 2 Amiibos today because my fucking nearest place is closing.
I want more Amiibo.
I have Shulk and Lucario.
I have Shulk. I don't have Lucario.
Andy, your thoughts on the NX?
I kind of think it looks fragile. I've got a little bit to say, so we might need to be like, hey, we'll talk about this in a few minutes. But first, I like the reveal for the fact that it's being marketed towards older people. Like you just see pretty much young adults or adults playing it on the go, like airplanes.
I think I did not see a single kid in that advertising.
There
I
are
don't
no
think
children.
I did either. I don't think I saw
And we also saw portable Skyrim.
Yes, that was something I was going to get into as well. I do think it looks kind of flimsy, but that doesn't mean much because, like we just said, Nintendo is meticulous about making their customers happy with hardware, and they test the shit out of it. I mean, they might not have the best software or third-party support, but I guarantee I could pick my Wii up right now, chuck that motherfucker against the wall that's about 10 or 12 feet away as hard as I could, plug it back up, and it'd still fire right back up.
Personally, the only thing I have against the Switch so far is battery life concerns.
Yeah.
That has been a big detractor for it. The early rumor is, and again, it's got 3 to a 4-hour battery life. That's
nothing. That's like Game Gear level portable stuff. Like portable battery life.
To go higher, and I hope it's bullshit.
I really do hope it's bullshit because, I mean, if you're taking this thing out like on a road trip or something, you have like your friends in the car, somebody's driving, you're playing freaking Mario Kart or something. You want to keep playing for a while. You don't want to just have it there for.
There could be adapters though, where you just plug it into that.
I'm thinking they'll release that if it's not already done.
Is going to be a USB 2.0, so it might have standard charging. None of this Nintendo whole bullshit.
Thank goodness.
I can't really tell, but when he plugs it in, it looks like a sleek USB 2.0, the smaller ones, and then no matter where you are, you have something that can charge it.
Okay, so it's got a universal cord.
Yes, it looks that way.
Better hopefully be that way.
Not 100%, but like Nintendo, motherfucker, get that one right. Because everyone nowadays either has a power bank or an Android charger. I don't have an Android phone, and I have Android chargers because they're the fucking standard.
Yeah, everything uses micro USB, unless it's
Type-C.
Apple.
I don't know. My phone went to a Type-C charger, so it's different than everything else, and I don't have an Apple, so.
You mean the fatter one?
No, well, yeah, well, I have an LG, so I mean, it's the Type-C USB Mini one. That's like, there's no way to plug it in upside down, essentially.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that before. I looked up a picture. Okay.
I have been really anticipating the Switch. Like, back when we heard it was subtly announced during an investors meeting, the NX, and I've followed the leaks. I usually don't super trust them because they're leaks.
Yeah.
And when I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, I like this. I like where they're going, and I do have faith in Nintendo, but there's just a bit of me that's like, how are they gonna fuck it up? And I don't like that I feel like they might fuck it up, because they seem like they're going in a new direction of a more hardcore base, and they're trying to get to the Nintendo that the GameCube was trying to be, but it was just too lunchboxy. And
love my GameCube.
So do I. But it didn't sell well because it looked like a fucking lunchbox. It had power, it had fucking durability, and it is a great system.
And a lot of the games even still hold up today.
Yeah. But because they used the mini DVDs, they didn't get a lot of support.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing that I ever saw use those mini DVDs were like the Bionicle toys.
Yeah.
And I think what was it? The action replay cards?
Yeah, certain PC games use them, but not very good ones. But that's the problem with Nintendo is they will sometimes have an amazing thing, but they take one little thing and says, we're going to be different here. And I'm like, don't fuck me. Like, the only real thing I can say against the Switch that I know of now, like, I'm not going to bring up the battery life because we don't know, but it could be shit. I'm not a fan of how small the Joy-Con controllers are when you're using them on their own. But I just
I do agree with that.
Like, I understand that you can probably take the Pro controller with you and use it. Just throw it in your bag, or use the Joy-Con controllers on the system. If I'm playing portable, I'm keeping them on the system, not doing that thing. Skyrim looks fun portable, but using two hands separately, no, that's weird. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to play any game two hands separately. It just...
Like, I can do it with certain Wii games, but I'm not crazy about it.
Like, the game has to actually be built for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you're playing a sword fighting game, you have one arm for a shield, one arm for actually swinging the sword.
And I do want to know additional specs, like not only what is the battery life on the Switch display, what's the battery life on the Joy-Con controllers? Will the Joy-Con controllers charge when they're plugged into the Switch, and will it then drain the battery even more?
Or does it need AA's?
I don't think I can almost bet you money it's not going to be swappable battery.
That would surprise me too.
Yeah, that's a step backwards. And Nintendo, for all the things you can say about them, they never turn around. They go forward, but they might always not go in the direction you want.
Right. So, other things about this. It's using cartridges, not CDs.
Yes. Love cartridges.
We're going old school, people.
They have confirmed that the cartridges are not compatible with the 3DS, and there is no disc compatibility with the Wii U. And I kind of noticed this in the video because the NX cartridge looks a few millimeters thicker than a 3DS cartridge.
Well, that's because they're trying to fill more data into it, because cartridges, from what they were, they actually can hold a lot more data sometimes compared to just regular...
The Vita cartridges are small, and some of them hold like 8-9 gigs.
Yeah, I have one right here, right in front of me. It's really slim, but it holds Final Fantasy X in it, the HD version.
And 2 at once, right? Or just
no,
one?
just 10. With 2, you have to download it.
Oh, well, that's good because I wouldn't play 2.
It's okay. But anyway, yeah, it's really thin. I'd see like a millimeter.
Mm-hmm. The Vita cards are small. And think of what they could do with a full-sized, thick card like the NX looks like it's going to do. Ballpark, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I can guess at least 10 plus gigs per card.
Well, you can get SD cards. They exist almost into the terabyte levels.
I was going to bring that up too.
Mm-hmm.
It could, yeah. I mean, solid state memory is not as limiting as it used to be.
Oh, solid state memory is cheaper now than disk.
Yeah.
From what I've been hearing. Now, I really want to see where they're going to go from here. Because I want it to be the success that Nintendo needs.
I want this to be the home run out of the ballpark for Nintendo that takes them back to Super Nintendo level of Nintendo Mania.
Yes.
Back when they were, they're still big, but they're not as big as they were in the 90s.
Like, the Wii printed money and the DS printed money. And then the 3DS struggled, but then it's doing really well, but it's not printing them money again. And
no, it's doing good, but
No, it's doing good, but it's not literally printing money for it.
Yeah, let's just say it's doing better than the Vita.
Oh, the Vita was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Worst shoe in the closet's doing better than the Vita.
I love the Vita, but it's so underutilized. Like, the fact that we have to get... The fact, I barely use it myself, but the fact that the new Digimon World game that came out in Japan that we're getting here in the US had to be fucking remade for the PS4, as well as translating the Vita version because the Vita does not do well here.
I'm not especially against that because, some stuff like that I'd like to play on my PS4.
Yeah. Like, I want the Switch to be as big as the SNES was. Like, the SNES was the last time Nintendo was king shit of Game
Yeah,
Mountain.
that's what I'm saying. They were king shit of Game Mountain.
We just gotta wait.
Yeah.
We just have to wait, see what happens, and probably see some really cool fan designs.
Extreme!
I want that Switch Double Extreme.
Even if it's not a thing, I have paint markers and a fiance that I can make do it.
Yeah. And also, I can see this thing being at conventions, and there's this guy walking around using it as a rider belt.
Yeah, the cosplay's already being worked on. The one thing I'm really curious about is if they're going to push it as a portable component, are they going to let people? Are they going to license normal smartphone apps to it, like any of the DNA apps? Are they just going to let them put it on their own? Are you going to be able to develop app-type games for it? And since they are pushing it as a mobile thing, will we get, like, Street Pass Plaza on it from the 3DS?
I'm hoping...
Would like to see.
The one thing I'm really hoping for, because I'm kind of looking over at some of my SNES cartridges right now, Final Fantasy 3, just for a shout-out.
You mean
well, let's not get into that. It says 3 on the label. I'm going to follow through right now. Anyway, I was doing a little research before we did this, and I noticed they didn't say anything about Virtual Console support, which they probably will before it launches, but...
of course they're going to do Virtual Console support. It's like...
I know, they just haven't said anything yet, so I'm really hoping they do some really good Virtual Console support and up the memory in it, because I think the rumor right now is, 32 gigs?
But it also is said, it's not confirmed, but there is probably going to be 1 or 2 SD card slots, and there's confirmed 3 USB slots, 2 2.0 and 1 3.0. Hopefully we pair that with just 1 SD card slot and have the card slot be readable up to a large gig number. Like, don't give me a 32 gig limit on it. Push that motherfucker to, 200.
Yeah, if it was 200 or 250, that would be easily enough. With Virtual Console support, being able to play your old, Nintendo through N64 on the go, I would buy that thing day one.
One thing I need them to do, and they can't fuck us on this, is because they started the integrated Nintendo system recently. Push the Nintendo Network account to be a little bit better. Give me goddamn not only cross-platform buying, like if I buy Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening Deluxe on my 3DS, let me play it on the NX. But let any previously owned digital not Wii, because I know that's never going to happen, Wii U or 3DS virtual console game, let me just log in and say, hey, do you want to immediately import your virtual console library? You know what will happen if that's a thing? I will buy it day one, and I will play half those games again.
Also, probably just because every other console has done this, region lock. None of that, please.
They've confirmed there's no region lock.
Yes! It's a winner!
Holy shit! Yes.
So this means all the Sentai and Kamen Rider games, which will come to it because, well, Nintendo, we will be able to play.
Won't be able to read. Won't be able to read, but I'll be able to play. I mean,
somebody will fucking translate it.
Do you need to be able to read to play a fighting game?
No, not really.
Do you need reading for a Musou game?
Exactly.
I'm not saying I need it. I'm just pointing that out. That's all.
Like, if they just nut up and say, you know what, it's not all going to be region-free, but there's some bullshit programming to give you shitty auto-translations, I will suck a Nintendo exec's dick.
I mean, for some fucking Japanese RPGs that we never got over here, if it was a shitty translation, if it was like ran through Google Translate and then done like that, I would still fucking suck their dick and play it.
Even if all of the character limit is fucked up, like in the Pokemon Green translated ROM.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Pokemon Green.
Because there's a translated ROM of that using the Japanese setup, and it's like 4 characters for everything. I don't care, I'll play it.
Mm-hmm. That was...
Also, did you guys hear about the rumor? Not the rumor, that I think it's been confirmed that Game Freak is working on a Switch game.
Yes.
I think I did hear that today.
Like, I've heard about that. I've heard, they might be working on an NX thing. No, they are. And now, since the Switch, I haven't heard anything on it. Now, I don't care what the game is, but I want it.
I'm honestly kind of hoping for more of because they did something for the Genesis back in the day.
You're going to bring
Pulseman.
up... Pulseman.
Pulseman.
I was going to say either go off the beaten path and do another game like that, because Pulseman was good. Harmo Knight, anyone who has a 3DS, $15, throw it on Harmo Knight, you'll like it. They have some Steam game, Something the Badass Elephant. I hear very good things, but I haven't played it. Like, if they go off the beaten path and make their own game, I'll give it a try. If instead they have Pokemon Eclipse version, like the Sun and Moon's third game, or Sun and Moon 2, or whatever they want to play on this year, I will make Poke Eggs in my pants and go buy it.
Now, I know what we're all thinking since you mentioned Pokemon. Pokemon Snap.
Snap is integrated into Sun and Moon with
Yes,
their
I saw them
Poke
doing something
Finder
like
thing.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but like full on, redone everything.
Now, I'll take that
More
Pokemon Snap, you say, and raise you Go on the NX.
That's what I was just going to say. They actually got Pokemon Go on that as well.
Oh my god. That would... Even if it's the exact same game, yes.
I'm currently throwing dollar bills at my computer screen.
I don't have any
Shut
dollars.
up and take my money!
I've already cash my computer screen.
So yeah, you have plenty of time. So
Yeah, I figure tax time, I'll just go into local game store. Yes, I would just like to completely pre-order this and Legend of Zelda and any other game I might want for it and just come pick it up there.
Did anyone notice how, and I think it's because the game isn't fully optimized or programmed yet, Breath of the Wild lagged on the NX?
Yes.
Don't say such terrible things.
I mean, that
Well,
could
it's
be what they're
Yeah,
running
also-
it on at the time, too.
Yeah, it might not have been the most current build for
Yeah.
that commercial, but also during the demos, it was lagging, and that was on the Wii. The Wii
Zelda's
is my
like
bad.
their bread and butter, so I don't think that's anything to worry about. Mario, it used to be Metroid.
I think they just had to show it off.
Well, I mean, the thing is that you look at Kingdom Hearts Dream 0.2. It still has some issues and stuff, so a little bit of frame lag here and there, and the textures weren't even as polished in the first demo that people got to play. So I mean, and that's coming out like later it's coming out early next year. It's going to get polished. Don't worry. Nintendo won't let that happen because they don't want what happened to Sonic to happen to any of their franchises.
Like, I know it's going to get polished, but they could have given us a better video of it. Like, don't let it lag, because people won't forget.
Much like Ridge Racer!
Or Flip the Crab for Massive Damage.
That was the next one I was going to bring up. The historically accurate game where they fight giant fucking crabs.
I'm disappointed by the second Genji game, because the first one was pretty fun. And then I got Genji, the second one for PS3, and I'm like, what the fuck did you do to this? But anyway...
Do you guys think that Nintendo will finally... Because I'm not sure about the Wii U or the 3DS, but do you think Nintendo will incorporate more of an achievement system like Xbox and Sony?
Yes.
Maybe.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but I can see them putting some type of achievement system.
I mean, they kind of did that with the stamps.
Ooh.
I don't even really do that. See, the thing is, that kind of became a lesser thing even for me using my Sony and Xbox thing as well. So I don't know. I kind of feel like the trophies and the achievements, I don't really even care about them all that much anymore playing my other systems.
I actually think I figured out how Nintendo's going to do this. Has anyone played Miimoto yet?
No.
Their mobile game? In that, you can get rewards, either silver or platinum Nintendo points. Platinum and Nintendo points is what you can use to get games. And this is... that's like certain achievements you get in the game, you can do that, and the normal ones you can use to get in-game bonuses. What if their game achievement system, instead of just giving you, oh, here are trophies, here's gamer score, they gave you those points instead?
Well, I'm hearing microtransactions when you say that, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm hearing you do achievements to get free DLC.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. In Miimoto, there is microtransactions, but there was no way to purchase either the gold or the platinum Nintendo points. They are reward only. Like you can. No, I'm right on this. They're reward only. Like if they were to integrate that into it, because those Nintendo points are carried over to everything. I can log into my Nintendo account on my computer at home, and it will have the same amount that I have in Miimoto that I also haven't used in months. Like, I think that would be a great incentive to give a shit about the achievement system.
Right.
Like, even if it was, here's 500 gold points for beating that secret boss in Breath of the Wild. Hey, you can use those points to get a free Zelda wig for your Mii.
Okay, so you're not... It seems less about... More. You're talking more of cosmetic things to unlock.
The gold stuff is usually things like that, little cosmetic things like that. The platinum points you can use to get games. I don't know if like certain achievements might give you one or the other, but that would be a good thing to integrate into it.
So I still keep hearing DLC. I know what you're saying. It's just that's what I keep hearing. It's just DLC and microtransactions.
But it's free.
Like if they let you get straight up DLC through it for free, that would be just amazing.
Yeah, I mean I can see the appeal of it. It's so much the way the marketplace works right now that that's just the way it sounds to me.
Yeah, but what he's saying right now is how stuff used to be before microtransactions.
Yeah, I know. It's just, and I'm sure it probably wouldn't do that. It's just that two things. One, how many people are going to be like, well, I'd be willing to pay anyways if you just make it go away. I mean, or something like that. As soon as you go to the mindset of, well, yes, you could do that, but if you don't do that, and I just give you an extra $10, it's the kind of I can't see them saying, well, are we just going to say no? We don't want the additional money. You get my point on this one. I totally understand what you're doing. I'm just looking at a company saying, well, we could just take $10 from them, but why would we?
I will say the Nintendo first party games their DLC is very well done, and the games are complete without them.
Yeah, I do agree. You're right on that, because I've played before my Wii U bit the dust, yeah.
So as far as first-party stuff, I don't think there would be any company fucking around with it. And I think Nintendo would firmly plant their cock in the sand and say, no, you don't.
You know,
but then it's
from all the stuff that
Switch,
he's
so they're
saying,
going to switch.
all the stuff that Isamu's been saying is the kind of thing that will get you thrown out of a window on the 39th floor.
In a board meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Because they're good ideas, but they're just not going to do it because it's not business practical.
I'm not sure. Nintendo doesn't always go business practical. I mean, look at the fucking Wii.
Oh, yeah. Motion controls. Wave of the future, people.
And
for like 3 months, and then everybody kind of gave up on him.
No, it was a lot longer because everyone copied it. Everyone made fun of it for 3 months, and then they're like, oh shit, we need some of that Wii money, and then everyone wanted them as well.
Okay. We're going to... Oh, this is Sony. We're going to copy them. Just going to completely copy them and do it better. Xbox. What the fuck are these stick things? Screw that. We're just going to use the camera.
And PS3 really didn't copy it much better.
No, the Y-axis was kind of, and whenever they tried to integrate Y-axis into a game, I usually got mad and turned it off in the options if I could.
So, anything else that we can say about the NX here?
I look forward to buying it and maybe having multiple additional controller outputs for the sides.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think they're going to integrate any kind of, like, how Sony is going into the VR right now?
Honestly,
most definitely.
I thought the NX was going to be a VR thing. Like, Nintendo was going to be like, no, fuck you, we're going full VR. But
they're probably still burning from the Virtual Boy, which I actually did own. But
I don't think they trust VR after the Virtual Boy.
I
still
owned one of those.
Insert guy screaming, my eyes, my eyes.
I'm not sure if they're going to try that, but if they would... No, they won't try it right now because it's too expensive. Nintendo does not make expensive systems. VR is
true
for them to do right now. Maybe 8th gen, they'll do a straight-up VR system and make it cheap and affordable for everyone. Because that's Nintendo's like secondary thing. Gaming is accessible to everyone, including people without a shit ton of money.
Yes,
well, I mean,
everybody.
Say VR is expensive, they do have Google Cardboard, so...
Google Cardboard?
Yeah, you've ever seen Google Cardboard? It's literally a pallet you put on a piece of cardboard to fold up to put your phone in.
Oh, that thing.
And Google, it's actually an official Google thing. That's the funniest thing about it.
That's because Google likes to troll people.
True.
And be weird as well. But I want to know more about the the Switch, but I think it's going to do well. I feel weird that initial reports are that morning their stock went up 3 billion yen for the Breath of the Wild footage that went out. And then a day after the Switch got announced, they lost like 2.8% because their investors are fucking dick faces.
Yeah, I think altogether it dropped 7%.
Yeah.
Reveal.
And I'm like, why? Do the Nintendo investors just hate money and progress?
I mean, Nintendo's. I mean, with the Switch, it's just like, I mean, it's kind of too different in a sense. Like it's good different, but for investors, it just like it kind of makes them wary. I can see where they're coming from. It makes them a little wary because the Wii U did not do well, and it kind of is similar to the Wii U in a sense.
This is everything the Wii U wanted to be.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, in my apartment, where I have my Wii U in my living room, I cannot go and take a shit while playing it.
And now you can take a shit outside with it.
Yes. And then now I can shit in the woods like a fucking bear while playing my Switch.
You mean like a man?
I can get the Switch to beat my wife while playing Switch. I mean, I'd never do that.
I can beat my wife while I'm playing Zelda.
Like, I can go and break into someone's house and break all their pots while playing Zelda.
It's VR, bitches.
You'd only get to do that once, but
Not if you're good at it, you'll get away. But another
Okay, I'd only get to do it once because then I wouldn't get away. But
I really want to know if this is going to straight up replace the 3DS.
yeah, I was wondering that too.
I think
Because-
they'll phase it
Not.
out
Yeah.
over like 2
they
or
de-
3 years. It won't be a drastic thing at all, I don't think.
Because I kind of see 3DS as having, limited time since the new 3DS. Because Nintendo likes to make a re-release of a system just a few years before they kill it. And I'm like, I like the new 3DS. It's faster. It's got a better battery life. The C stub is nice, but more things need to use it. Don't weed this out now that we have the best version of it.
Yeah, I mean, they did the exact same thing with the original DS, the DSi,
The DSi XL, let's be honest.
and then before that, the Game Boy Micro.
I
Game
couldn't
Boy
even
Advance.
play that thing. My hands are so big, I couldn't play the micro.
Yeah.
Like for a kid, I could understand for the micro, like a little kid, like, oh here, have this game. It's Mario.
Oh, the screen's too small for me. But what's with Nintendo and constantly trying to push swappable faceplates?
Money.
Yeah.
Because the Micro tried that and failed, and the new 3DS is trying that, and...
Wait a minute, the Micro had switchable thing? I thought it was just a sticker.
No, the Micro has a switchable faceplate.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a sticker.
I mean, it's kind of cool that you can have more customization options if you just buy the base version, but
I mean, the 360, the original 360.
I was about to
do
bring
the
that
same
up.
thing.
And it never does well.
No, because I mean, it's aesthetic that you're not even gonna really pay attention to. That
For a
much. It was like
a little bit more than a console. A
but you're
console,
still gonna focus on the screen. You're not gonna
Yes.
be looking at like the periphery.
especially with a clamshell design for a handheld, you don't see the swappable case for your 3DS unless it's closed and sitting on your lap or on your table.
And then it's useful for like 5 minutes until you actually open it, and then
Yeah.
it's the same.
I mean,
3DS.
It's at best showing off to other people. Be like, ooh, look at my 3DS. It's very special. It glitters.
I don't know,
Still
like,
the same as
I
any
don't know, my
laptop
3DS
skin or cell
Yeah.
phone case.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Like the only thing that some of the swappable faceplates for the new 3DS and the new 3DS faceplate swaps is only for the standard one. The only thing that's nice about them, the Japanese releases of them sometimes come with download codes for a theme to match for the inside of your 3DS.
That's kind of
now
cool.
here's a question I actually just thought of. Do you think Nintendo will continue with the Amiibo support for the Switch?
I can almost guarantee you Amiibo support is on the Switch because one in the commercial when the girl's playing that new Super Mario Switch game or whatever it's going to be called, she has Mario Amiibos next to it. Two, because of how Breath of the Wild has Amiibo integration into it, I don't think they're going to remove that for the Switch. If anything, the Amiibo integration is going to be the same way it is on the new 3DS, where you just put it on the touchscreen. And also probably the center of their controllers. But more than likely, it's going to be the touchscreen. And yeah, it'd have to be the center of the controller for when you're playing at home in the dock. The dog head controller.
So
With how much money the Amiibos make in them, they like money.
and how much them have been stolen?
Have Amiibos been stolen a lot recently?
No,
Well, they're-
they won, but that's about it.
I mean, the fact that I actually did go out and buy a Shovel Knight Amiibo should say something.
Oh, I have my Shovel Knight Amiibo.
I love him so much.
So, should we wrap this up? Final thoughts?
I actually wanted to bring up the quote-unquote sequels we saw for the NX.
Oh, right.
The
Mario Kart 8 too?
Kart 8.5 and or 9?
Well, you
or
knew
Double
that
Dash
was
2?
coming,
We're
I-
not sure.
I'd
Well-
say Mario Kart 9 would be interesting.
I honestly think it's going to be a 9 because it has the dual items thing from Double Dash. The graphics do look a bit better, and King Boo is a playable character.
Yeah. I was
I
saying,
don't think that's all just an 8.5 or an HD release type change.
or DLC 3.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we're getting fucking double items again.
Yes. I'm glad we don't have double characters because that was kind of stupid. But aside from that, there was what I
kind of stupid aside from playing multiplayer because that was actually kind of fun.
Mario Kart name, switching lanes.
That's actually really a good idea. Honestly, I think they showed off Splatoon 2.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was too.
Confirmed it's either Splatoon 2 or an updated Splatoon because there's new weapons and new hairstyles for the Inklings.
I have never played that game.
Dude,
it's okay.
It is worth it.
Oh, I know it is. It's one of those ones that I've been told, like, oh yeah, you need to get. I said, my Wii U is busted. Why would I pay for? I sold all my Wii U games once it broke.
But I can't see them doing because they confirmed there is no new DLC to Splatoon. I can't see them doing again an HD port of it with new hairstyles and new weapons, and they were on a new map because I did not recognize that place. So I want to say that Splatoon 2. And do I even need to bring up that was a new Mario game?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a new Mario game. Mario switching stars. Power of the Switch stars.
Playing in freaking Spain with weird mirror-like ice glaciers. I
really hope that they do a world tour kind of thing, sort of like what they did with Super Mario Brothers 3.
I was gonna say it looked like awesome. This part of the game at least is all really cool, Spain and or Mexico looking. But if each world is based on literally each country, that would be fucking cool. That way we could get our desert world and our ice world, but then the others would get really good at different themes. It wouldn't be desert world, ice world, sky world, grass
medieval world.
Yeah.
Now this is something that somebody might try to bring up that I heard I saw on Tumblr. Maybe it might be in Mario Galaxy 3.
I don't think so. Not only is he not moving like in Galaxy, but it's not even designed remotely like it.
He's moving more like he does in the 3D World games.
I was going to say, he's got the 3D World movement, but he's got the triple jump is in it. So
triple jump. No, it's not.
I see it being more of the evolution of the 3D World gameplay.
Okay. Any other games that were in that thing? Besides the sports games, because those games go on to use so quickly that they're just marked automatically as 99 cents.
Well, yeah, but you know what, though? They stopped making the new ones for any of the Nintendo systems. And if they're going back to actually making them for the Nintendo systems, that would make me happy. But
I hate sports games.
Well,
it should be DLC.
Oh.
It should be, at this point, each yearly iteration should be DLC.
They actually, I'm going to defend this a little bit because I like my hockey game and I like my football games. Football less so than hockey. Hockey, they do constantly improve that game. I will give them that. Which it could be patched, but I think every year is a little bit too much. But I could actually justify that one a little bit more. And of course, I'm going to pay for hockey every year, anyways. But I was seeing that and I was like, oh, are they actually going to go back to actually making them for the Nintendo system? Because that's why I always have to have my Xbox or my PlayStation is because I can't play. There are no good sports games on Nintendo systems right now
that aren't Mario Sports,
which are stupid. I'm sorry, they're just not fun.
Super Sluggers was okay, Charge was really good, and Sports Mix was a big question mark.
I like the Mario Tennis and the Mario Golf and stuff.
I honestly just kind of wish they would. It's just like patch it all in one thing instead of.
I will give you this, Andy. Nosan. What was it? NFL 2K5. I did play this with friends because I had no standards back then. They made a big deal about it having a hit stick and things like that. To me, warrant a full new version. When you add in a full new component to the game that changes how a gameplay part of it works, then I say yes to a full yearly iteration. But if it's just going to be slight updates like to the roster and gameplay balances, make it DLC. Like with the hockey game, if they switch the way the movement and the ice skating works, yes, give me a new version of the game.
They usually do. The big thing they tried to do 2 years ago, and because I'm thinking about this year. This year there was a definite change to the interaction. I want to say it was almost the collision system and the interaction in front of like the net. That was like what their big thing was for this year, and definitely changed how they radically changed how your, especially an AI opponent, treats you. So your actual gameplay is significantly different based on how the other side treats you. That changed quite a bit. But like 2 years, the one I was thinking of is what they and this is specific to hockey, and I don't want to get too long in hockey, but basically they got rid of the automatic, like, if you want to think of it this way, they added the puck as its own item. So, like, if you were rushing with a puck and, like, really flying down the ice, you would lose it off the end of your stick. Where, like, you couldn't just, like, sprint all the time, every game, all game. That was, to me, like, and it was also, like, if it hit your stick, it wasn't going to magnet to it, to where it's stuck there no matter what.
Okay, so it's not just a part of your character model that gets traded to different people.
Yeah, hockey for EA, not that I'm a huge EA person, but hockey is the one that goes the most experimental. If they're going to change something drastic in a game, it's always in that system first, and then I've seen it kind of filter across the other ones. Maybe because they feel like it doesn't sell like some of the other ones, and I think that's why they do.
I hate EA. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, you're not wrong. I'm not a fan of EA.
They ruined Ultimo!
They do things I like, but they do a lot of things I don't.
So, bringing this back to Nintendo and their very fancy NX Switch device, final thoughts, if we're on to that, or is there anything else that we can think of to talk about it?
The only thing else we can really bring up is the name, and I think while I'm not a big fan of it, it makes sense and it conveys what the system is.
It's better than Wii U.
Yes. If it was a Wii 3, it would be dead on arrival.
Wii,
Oh, yeah.
Wii.
Yeah.
Oh, no, here comes the cops. No, that's just a bunch of children wanting their Wii U's.
Well,
okay.
We won't talk about the other use of the term Switch then, okay?
Oh. Well, if we're going to talk about that, there's Pokemon S and M out coming. And then we have Switch. Or
Wow, I thought I was
Switch.
abreast of all of this, but I actually don't know that term.
Oh, should we educate? Let's get some education up in this podcast.
I think we can inform you on that one, like, not in the middle of recording.
No, seriously. Do you want to be told right now, or do you want to Google it later? Because if we tell you now,
for the podcast, I think I'll just Google it later.
Spoil sport.
Wait, you know what I almost want to hear? What do you think it means?
Ooh.
At least this. At least give us this. At least give us this.
Right. I will tell you if you're right.
I know what it means.
I know what it means.
But the thing is, have you known what it means?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
My.
So all right, I won't embarrass you. That's kind of cruel. I won't do that.
Okay, so is that it? Is this
now that our dirty talk's out of the way.
Yeah.
I think we've gone through everything we can talk about the NX without talking
and
about
hockey,
that.
apparently.
Yes. And dirty things.
So, final thoughts. I'm going to get this game. I'm going to make a belt for it. And I'm going to become Kamen Rider and Cross.
So I have to be Genesis Cross. Final thoughts. I was buying it anyway, but thank you for Nintendo for making something I can be respectable while owning out in public.
I want it. I probably won't be able to afford it, but
I don't want to have to whip out my Wii 3, while going to work and play with it.
Well, that could be taken the wrong way out of context.
Well, I'm probably going to stick to my never buying a console at launch, but I'll probably get it eventually.
Buying something at launch is being a fucking beta tester.
Yeah, I know.
I bought my PS4 at launch. I got it like a month after.
I usually wait either 6 months or a year.
Yeah, 6 to 9 months.
That makes a lot of sense.
Whenever I have the money.
Oh well, that and I don't want to buy it when there's only like 3 games you can actually play for it, because launch there's usually nothing worth. I mean, either they launch it with games I don't want to play, or they just launch it with so few games. I'm like, why even bother?
And it's not even backwards compatible.
True.
Yeah.
So as much as I wish I could do this on day one, I'm waiting. Unless there's some kind of awesome early adopter thing, and I'm going to hate them if they do that, like the 3DS Ambassador program. If I would have known that was going to be a thing, I'd have gotten my 3DS earlier. Like, if they do a Switch Ambassador thing, I'll be like, well, fuck you. I want this now.
Andy, your final thoughts?
I will probably buy it at launch, and if I regret it, I'll just have to regret it. I'm excited about Zelda. I actually haven't played Skyrim, so there's Skyrim. I know it's coming out on like Xbone and PS4 in like a week or two, but got that.
Now wait,
Mario Kart.
Didn't they say after the fact that even though it was in the trailer, they weren't guaranteeing that Skyrim was even going to come out for it?
Yeah.
Nintendo also didn't confirm that that's a new Mario game, nor that any of the games they showed were in development. It's Nintendo's PR team being like, no, we can't say anything.
Well, you know that more than likely they are, though.
Yeah, I agree. It was just that I was like, I just seem to remember, like, I was like, oh, that's Skyrim, that's awesome, and then I read like right after, yeah, this isn't any guarantee that Skyrim's coming to the Switch.
I mean, as long as I can get Return to Arkham, because I mean, I speed on Arkham City constantly when I'm able to. I mean, playing that on the go would be amazing for me.
Also, random tangent: if Skyrim's on this, please bring Fallout 4 to it.
See, I don't understand why like 3 and New Vegas haven't got the fucking upgrade love that Skyrim has gotten.
Because Skyrim sold more.
It got Game of the Year.
So
Skyrim's
Fallout
Elder Scrolls.
At least Fallout 3 did. I'm not
Fallout
sure
3 did. It just Skyrim did sell a little bit more and has a slightly different fan base.
I just prefer Fallout to Elder Scrolls as far as Bethesda.
Me too.
That moment when you realize Skyrim's been out for 6 years is kind of sobering too. But
I remember seeing that shit in E3. I think it was E3 2011. And
Skyrim came out on 10/10/10. That much I remember.
Did you name your kid Dovahkiin to get free stuff for the game?
No, I don't have a kid, so no.
Well, I mean, it's easy to make one. Just, apply the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, okay. I'm stopping now.
No, it came out 10/11, or it came out 11/11/11. So it was.
Oh, that's right. I just remembered it the same 3 numbers. I just thought it was October, but okay.
But yeah, I just thought that was hot shit. And that was fucking 5 years ago, and same thing almost.
Yeah. Like, I do like all their third-party support as well. Like, that's a pile of good developers.
Something that's kind of concerning is that we haven't seen anything from Rockstar.
I'm not surprised.
They don't really.
I mean, yes, Nintendo
that much.
The last Rockstar thing that's been on Nintendo was, and you guys can correct me, Chinatown Wars and Mad World.
Mad World?
No.
Didn't they?
To the Google.
That was Platinum. But I think the last Rocksteady game was the Arkham City version.
That's Rocksteady.
Oh.
Mad World was made by Platinum Games.
Okay, never mind.
So it's the people who did Bayonetta and all that.
Ooh, if we get Bayonetta 3 on the Switch, if they do Bayonetta 3 on the Switch, she's making the joke.
Now, I actually just thought of something that we haven't discussed at all on here that I think is a very big question. Are they going to try to sell you a data plan for while you're on the go? Or is it just going to be local Wi-Fi stuff?
I think it's going to be local Wi-Fi.
I agree.
I don't know. I could actually see them going down the road of like a moderately priced data plan for while you're on the go. Because you're not always going to be around Wi-Fi hotspots.
Well, then you'd have to go with one of 2 ways. Either they'd have to integrate with an existing mobile company, or they would literally have to build their own mobile network from the ground up. So
What did the PSP? What did the Vita use? AT&T.
AT&T, I believe.
I could see him teaming up with Verizon if we went down the road of like an existing carrier. I could see him teaming up with Verizon.
I'm not sure.
Then you have another problem too, because unless you do, like you said, just with Verizon, then you have to integrate SIM card support.
That I wanna hear what Nintendo says about that before I say any more, because that is an interesting line of thought.
I mean, it just kind of popped in my head, and I was like, well, what if you're playing like Mario Kart on the go and you want to play with your buddy? Like you're waiting to go into work.
Or, wait a minute, maybe this could be the worst of it. It can only be local multiplayer.
That, yeah.
I can't see them doing that.
I can't either.
Splatoon on it, and how Splatoon is based on the online multiplayer.
Well, I think I think I understand. If it's in portable mode, local only. If you're on console mode, where it's hooked up to your TV, you hook it up to the internet and everything.
Well, if it's in mobile mode, you probably can still hop on Wi-Fi or hotspot on your phone.
Well, yeah, just I thought that was implied Wi-Fi. I should have said that.
And all the footage we see, I think, is just like system-to-system Wi-Fi.
And I mean, that would be okay if it sells enough. If enough people actually jump on that bandwagon, that might in larger populated areas that probably wouldn't be an issue.
I would say instead of using Verizon, be like, "Yo, Google, how about you hook us up?"
How about you give us some of that Google Fiber access? I have to look that up. I think that finally came here.
Oh, if you can get Google Fiber, I would want to visit you and just download a bunch of things.
Yeah, because I'm using Comcast right now.
Switch things, Jesse?
Anyway,
fuck Comcast.
We should try and wrap this Switch thing up, because right now we're attempting to do final thoughts for 10 minutes.
Final thoughts.
Sorry.
It looks good.
No, it's all of us.
It's Frieza time.
I honestly want to see this succeed.
I do too.
And I was going to get it regardless.
Yeah, unanimous decision. We all want it now.
Oh yeah, give us free Switches, Nintendo.
Wait, if I get a Switch, I'm going to need a new decal for it, because all of my video game systems have vinyl decals to the Ruby characters, and my PS3 has Yang and Weiss's on it. So I would need a new decal for it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it'll come.
Decisions.
We want to beta test your system, Nintendo. Give us free products.
Oh, God.
I'm sure if they ever found out we did this on the internet, they would just fucking stop it.
Oh.
We're going to talk about our stuff.
We're just hypothesizing.
All of that. It's never going to happen.
Well, I think this would probably be a good place to cut it off. Has everybody said their final thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm done.